All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to Random Talks with Jock. I got my son Patrick here. Patrick, thanks for coming back on, bub.
No worries, no worries.
So let's talk EF. Why'd you choose EF for your exchange year?
Well, the choice was pretty simple for me. I had a brother that did the same thing 10 years ago from when I did it. So in 2014, I think. And he with EF, and I also had like other friends going with EF that said they would go with EF, so I could like ask them questions if I had any about like what things to do and such. And EF was pretty safe and like yeah, they gave like good information about what I'm going into. Yeah, so that's really the simple answer for why.
Did with that information, I remember they had you go to like a movie theater looking place and kind of go over stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of that actually uh, really pertain to what you experienced though?
No, because I feel like they give like a super polite and like boring. I feel like they tell a different story than what's actually gonna happen. Because I feel like they give like worst possible scenario of what's gonna happen. And then in reality, especially for me, it was way better than they said it was.
Well, give me an example. Do you remember?
Well, they said like I can't remember anything exactly, but they said like don't yeah let's for instance just we can just say for example you got told to not have a big party for me the first
Yeah.
day I came. And it sounds like if I'm shy and stuff, it might be scary, but for me it was just super nice, and I get to meet a lot of like people that I would be surrounded by the rest of my time being there. So I felt like it was a nice way for me to get introduced to all these people.
Let's talk preparing. How did the preparing process? What was that like? Like, I know you started talking to me, but you know, what would you say a kid doing EF needs to pack? What's some of the essential like items they need to take?
Items. Well, you should. Well, first, it's super important to know where you're going.
Yeah,
It's like if you're going down south and it's gonna be like super warm all the time, then it's not very necessary to pack like polar clothes, if that makes sense.
yep,
But I would say things, because you obviously you're gonna like buy some stuff, so I wouldn't pack only things like you love, because you probably have to like leave some things there and just buy new stuff. So I would pack like a combination of things you like, but also things that you like don't like that you could leave there.
yeah, for
That's what I would
sure.
say. Like both
All right.
things.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Because I know you had to get another suitcase
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, just people buy you stuff
Yeah.
over here too. So,
Because you get stuff. So I would pack like the simplest thing, and also like things that are expensive. I would pack because like t-shirts and stuff you can just buy over there, and it's not a problem. But like a computer is not like you can't buy a computer in America. It will be super expensive. So I would pack things like that.
gotcha.
Expensive stuff, yeah, mostly.
What um what was it like taking going to the airport, saying goodbye to your family, and then getting on a plane with a bunch of other just strangers, like kids? I mean, you didn't really
Hmm.
know them, right? You're just
No, no, never. Yeah, I just met them at the movie theater thing that you talked about, where we had like where all the exchange students met. That didn't know any, and I didn't know who I was going to meet. But it was kind of weird because when you like apply for going into America, you like it's so like it doesn't like in my head it doesn't seem like the reality. So I didn't think much about it until like I was going into the plane, and then I was like, holy shit, I'm not gonna meet my family for like a year. And that was kind of like a weird feeling. And you don't exactly know who you're gonna meet either, like what the family's gonna be like, and it's kind of weird. But we had like a really good relationship, and we added each other on Snapchat and had a lot of talks before I went, so I knew I was going to a safe place, which helped me a lot. Yeah.
what was when you first get to the United States, they send you to New York City,
Hmm.
meet with EF. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So you get on the like for me it was kind of weird because you go on the plane alone with not like you don't know anybody, but it was super safe because you went with like a group of people and everybody takes care of each other and it's like I didn't even have to think once. I just followed the group and they everybody figured it out together. So that was pretty easy. And then we came to arrived to we had like what's it called layover in London
Mhm.
where we met other exchange students from like Sweden and stuff. I'm from Norway though, so it was like we met from
Yeah.
Danish people and Norwegian people are the best by the way. Yeah, but we went to New York after that, and that's where we like met like everybody, like all the people that were going into America at that specific time because you go like groups go each week. There's a week between every time people go. So I went with the first group. So yeah, I didn't have any friends or anybody that like told me anything about how it was. Because I obviously had like other friends going, but they went after me, so I could like tell them what to expect and stuff. But I just went in with I was very open-minded. Just yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but
What was your first impressions of New York City?
well, firstly it was like super warm. That was the first thing that like hit my face. I was like, dang, this is warm. And then and then we went to the bus and we just drove down, drove through New York and to our like place. And I've never been to America like anything like this. I just looked out and took a million pictures on my phone and just recorded everything. And I was like, dang, this is pretty cool. Like you see those huge buildings that you like heard about and stuff. And I don't know how to explain it, but everything was super new and yeah. And then you go into like that hotel area where, or like the place you stay with all the foreigners.
Yep.
And you get a hotel with two people, two random. I got with two random people from one from Germany and one from Italy. They were all right, but it didn't really matter that much because you spent the whole day like outside your room anyway, so it didn't matter. And that's where you like got to meet people and hang out with your friends and stuff. Yeah,
So what kind of stuff did you guys get to do or whatever? So you're there for 3 days.
yeah, yeah, 3 days.
What is that? It probably helped with jet lag a little bit, I bet.
Hmm.
Um, what kind of stuff do you guys do in those 3 days?
Well, so firstly, I want to mention that you could like pay extra money to stay for even longer. So some people stay there for like 2 weeks and they like watched football games and stuff.
Mhm.
But we did like the first thing we did. I'm trying to like go back in time here, but we went to America, like the city one time, one day, the whole day. We went to the city of New York and just yeah, experienced as much as we could. We walked with the group first through the main parts of the city, and then you got like some free time, like doing whatever you wanted to. But you had to like stay with a group, and you get told like safety stuff, like don't give high fives to people because people might sneak up on your back and steal stuff from you. So that was one day. We just spent the whole day doing that. And then the other day we like had like a lot of talks about what to expect going into a new family, how you like what you should do to make new friends, what to not say, such as you shouldn't say like one thing I remember is like you shouldn't say you want to ride me somewhere. That's one thing they told me not to say because some people just know that ride is normal to say if you want to go in a car ride with somebody. So some
Yeah,
people had said to their host parents or friends or whatever, "Can you ride me to somewhere?" And then they gave like heads up to some things not to say because it might seem weird, but for you as a foreigner, you don't think about it.
yeah.
Yeah, and what more did we do? We did like a lot of like group stuff, like yeah, a lot of like speaking stuff, communicating with people, like yeah, I can't remember exactly, but a lot of like how to get friend stuff
Now,
and
is
how
when you're at this place, is it English only with everybody, or what do you
yeah.
do?
Well, you meet a lot of people from your areas like your country, so I could speak a lot of Norwegian to people there. They told us to speak uh our like English as much as possible because that's the language you're gonna speak the rest of the year. So they wanted us to like practice it.
Mhm.
And also they had like ambassadors there. I'm just remembering as I speak about
Yeah,
it.
you're
And
fine.
they came from different countries as well. So we had to like try and guess their country or their nationality while we were there. So like for us, we try to like ask them to say something in Norwegian, and then telling by their accent we could like understand if they were Norwegian or not, because some Norwegians know how to pronounce something that Americans or other people wouldn't have a chance of doing.
I understand. Nice try.
Yeah. And the day before you leave, you have like a pretty cool party. It's like I think it's like a prom thing. It's not exactly like prom at all, but it's kind of prom. And then
Gotcha.
it's a big party where everybody reveal their nationality and we just have fun.
Um, so
And
after
yeah,
that, they take you in the morning, get on the airplane or the afternoon, and
yeah.
you get to head to your host family. What was your first impressions of Indiana? Once you got, I mean, you get to the airport, but once you get like stepped outside.
Yeah, well, as I remember, I like sat on the plane looking down and I just saw a lot of like farms and like the acres or whatever it's
Mhm.
called.
Yep.
Uh, the wheat, where you guys plant wheat and stuff. And I didn't know what to expect because I hadn't heard a lot about Indiana before I went there. But I felt like because I obviously when I got there, I felt like there was a lot of freedom there. Like I remember one guy that picked me up there with a golf cart, just driving around in a golf cart, and that was like so weird to me. And people there seemed so much like so much more open-minded. It's super nice. I just remember like people wrestled each other and had a lot of fun, and people there were obviously more like open up to do a lot of cool stuff. Because in Norway, people would try to be like more polite and boring, I would say. But there, everybody was just going full rampage, and it was so fun.
Was that what you expected from Americans, or did you expect Americans to all be loud and mean? You know, because you see movies and stuff, and
Hmm.
they try to make Americans sometimes in certain movies like loud and annoying and pushy and just
Hmm.
mean. Did you what you does that what you expected though when you met all the Indian cannot talk Indiana people?
I can't talk either. No worries. Yeah. Um, I didn't know what to expect because I obviously knew that that stuff that people tell you is not exactly true. But I felt like some things you said there, like people talk loud and stuff. I've heard stuff like that. The people like you should keep a heads up for that. But when I arrived, I felt like everybody was so like welcoming to me and actually way nicer than I thought they would be. I thought they wouldn't care that I was there that much. Maybe like, yeah, it's cool. But when I got there, everybody showed so much love and respect. And also like everybody took me out to do stuff, which yeah, I give me a lot of respect for people there. So I
Well,
understand way more like yeah, everything.
so we went to a wedding, my cousin's wedding. Um,
Mhm.
you remember we're driving back, you're just taking pictures of cornfields.
Mhm.
I mean, that was a culture shock to see just fields for miles and miles.
Uh
What was that like just being where there's all this, there's not city, it's just all
it's
fields.
just all yeah, it was so weird because I just felt like yeah, it was everything felt so big and way bigger than you like expect. Because you see it on the map, but when you look at it on the map, you don't actually think about how big America is. And then you will, and then when you like drive those straight roads for like hours and hours, you just realize how big it really is. And it was so cool, even though it sounds pretty boring, but that there's just, is it called like acres or farms? Or what do you call
Yeah,
those?
there's farm acreage, acres.
Farming areas. Yeah. It sounds pretty boring, but like I just wanted to remember memories and like rewatch what it looked like in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
And
I
then of
took
course all the
videos.
deer, all that stuff running around
All
like
in
crazy.
there. Yeah. That was cool.
What was your first, I mean, I know obviously, but like what was your first like week here like? You're the new kid, but
Mhm.
you going doing soccer practice, you getting all that started. What was that all that like?
Well, it was Like in at my place, you like people don't care that much about you because you obviously been there for a long time. But when you go there, everything is new and like everybody's new. Like yeah, so everything was pretty overwhelming. Like I felt like everything just got pushed into your face. But I kind of liked it though. It gave me a lot of like I don't know how to explain it, but I really liked it because I got to learn like how it really was to be there. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Uh, I like that I like went through practices like normal and stuff, and not only was just sitting at my home and taking
Yeah.
things slow.
Yeah, that could probably be pretty boring, just chill.
Hmm.
What'd you think about the heat? Were you expecting to be that hot in
No,
Indiana?
no, because I thought like it was only warm like down south for some reason, but when I got there, it was super humid. Like when I had soccer practice outside, it's so hard to explain. You just like get soaked, and your t-shirt just gets is stuck into your body when you run and stuff, and it's like so hard to breathe. So that was super different from where I was from.
Do you
Yeah.
think do you think maybe that helped um with sports when you got home? Like being like the training over here with our weather and all that kind of stuff. It is hard to breathe here sometimes, doing
Hmm.
sports. Do you think that helped you? Like build your lungs up more, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's good to like practice in different weather conditions. In Norway, I practice a lot of times during like winter when they're super cold. So you get a lot of like different type of air. And I think that's nice to like prepare your body for like everything, basically. Yeah.
So what was your first day of school at South Vermillion like?
My
Do you
first day of
remember?
school.
Do you remember like how how it felt the first day?
Yeah, I remember we went to my cousin first and took some pictures there. And then after that, she drove me. I can just mention her name. I just don't want to like give random shout outs, can I? Because I might forget some people and like
No, you're
don't mention
fine.
people. It can get sad, yeah. But Ava took me to school after, and I think I can't remember exactly how my first day was. I just remember like I was walking down like the hallways and everybody was giving me like bum fists and like welcoming me, and I went to the first class, and there was not a lot of people in the first class I went to. So I was kind of surprised by that. But I met like obviously one of the wrestlers there, so I felt like safe going into the first class. Uh, and yeah, and they just everybody was just so curious about me, and it was nice like explaining stuff and like fun talking about like my experiences and comparing it to theirs. And I love just meeting new people. That like gives me a lot of joy, like hearing about like their being growing up and everything, and
Yeah.
like their experiences. Yeah. So
Was so your first day though, I think you said at your old school or the school at home, you stayed in like the same class every day or
yeah, yeah,
every period. How was that having to find your next class and go in this room, go in that room, all that?
yeah. Because I feel like school is very different from Indiana and Norway. Because in Norway, you just like you get a class and it's called, let's say, 1A
Uh-huh.
or 1B, like your first grade, 1A, 1B, and then you just get put in random classes. And then that's the class you just stick with. And obviously you have like some classes that you choose, like you can choose like different languages, French, Spanish, and that's the only time you change class.
Okay.
And other than that, you're just with the same people the whole time. But there it was like so weird because you went to one class and then I just had like this paper just that said like some random number and I had no clue where to go. So I was just like walking around. Obviously, it helped because in soccer practice we just ran through the hallway sometimes. So I
Mhm.
kind of knew some things about the school, and I also had like a I went through the school with you guys too one
Yeah.
time before I went there. Um, but I don't know. It was so weird because you get like just 5 minutes to get into your class, but in
Yeah.
Norway you get 5 minutes to do whatever you want outside, and then you just go back. So you know exactly where to go. So you have like more free time outside class, which was nice. Which was weird. And also, I just want to say that like it was kind of weird that like all the doors get locked. and also that yeah, you have these bells because in Norway it's pretty like the teachers don't care that much. Like they can let you out like 10 minutes before you're supposed to
Mhm.
have a break, and then you have to like go come early. They don't like it's pretty like loose in here, but there it was like you had like a bell, and then you had 5 minutes to get into the next class, and it was yeah, it was strict, but it was nice because you had like this routine of what to do. So
And
yeah,
it probably helps break up the day a little bit better. You're not in
mm,
the same room for whatever.
yeah,
Um, but it probably does suck if you're down in the science area and have to walk all the way to the gym.
oh yeah,
You're at
because then you
that's
have no time to speak to anybody.
that's a pretty far walk, so you got to get going.
Yeah, you don't have any time to like speak to anybody then.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, did you like the classes that they offered, the courses?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was pretty decent. What made me like I don't know if the classes was good. I just feel like the people in the classes and the teacher was the thing that made it cool. Yeah, that's what like every teacher like I didn't expect them to care that much, but a lot of the teachers asked me a lot of questions and was really open-minded to like understand like how it was for me. So they wasn't super strict with me right away, which helped me a lot. 'Cause yeah, I was scared that some teachers would like be super strict to me and like take care of me the same way as they do to the Americans, which I don't think is right at all times. Because I'm very like it's so everything is new to me. So yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, they're just yeah, I'm just losing my words here, but
No, you're fine. Who,
uh,
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Who's your
yeah.
favorite teacher?
Oof.
Yeah.
I
And
can't I can't mention one. I don't think.
remember, they're probably gonna watch this.
I know. That's why I don't want to say anything. I can't say anything.
All right. But you had a favorite teacher, right?
I don't think I had one.
Really? Do you have a
Yeah.
couple you liked?
Huh?
You had a couple of them you liked?
Yeah, I had a couple of them. Like I like them in different ways. Like different like at
I was gonna
different
say
moods
that.
I would like certain people more than
Oh,
others.
yeah. Patrick's not being truthful right now. He doesn't
But
want to
some
get
of
mad
them
at you.
were yeah, there was sometimes I was I didn't hate anybody, I don't think. There was some people some teachers I disliked more than others, but yeah. For the most part I liked most of them, if I gotta
Um,
be honest.
yeah, like so you had to actually take classes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like so say Thor. Thor could just do whatever he wants because it didn't count
Yeah.
for him. Would you have rather done it where it didn't count for you, or are you glad it did count for you? You know,
What
because
is
well, I mean, like Thor's doing cooking class and
yeah.
a bunch of gym classes and stuff, and
Mm. Just for
I mean,
fun.
do you think it that would have benefited you, or are you glad that you had to take classes that meant something, so you can get out of school earlier when you get back home? What would you rather have done?
Um
Because I mean, you made academic all state, so
yeah.
it wasn't hard for you.
No, I think it helped that I had to like do those classes and that it matters because then it gave me more motivation to actually do good in those classes. Because I feel like if I had classes and it didn't matter for me, I don't think I would like care about anything at all. I don't think I would do homework either.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So I think that it was good that I had like some red line that I had to follow and some things that I had to like actually do because I had to get an C or better in every class at least. So I couldn't like just loosen up completely and do whatever I wanted. I had to like be somewhat strict.
Yeah, I mean, you you were in the top 20 of your class, so obviously it was pretty easy for you. Is school easier in America or Norway?
Well, for me, I think I think it depends on the people that you speak to. Because for me, I think it's better in America because I like the system there better. That it like matches me better because I'm super good at just like remembering stuff, like reading something and then remembering it, and
Mhm.
that's exactly how it is there. it's a lot of multiple choice, and but if you don't pay attention in the class, it's you will have a super hard time in those tests. I feel like, but as in Norway, you could like kind of like talk your way around it,
Yeah.
which I do a lot. You don't have to like know expect especially what to do because you could like have background knowledge and use it in the tests. But in America, I feel like you have had to read the book to understand to know the answer, if that makes sense.
Now, when you were here, try to word this right. I feel like you kind of lost your accent. You sounded a little American.
Did
When you
I?
went home, did anyone say you sounded different? Like you spoke
Mm,
different, or maybe you had a different accent now?
Well, for the most part, I speak Norwegian to people here, but it's a lot of stuff that I do, like with my like stuff that I do and wear that like they speak about, and like
Like
even
mannerisms?
though I don't speak a lot of English to them, I do stuff that they react on that I wouldn't do before I went to America, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
I would like have some curse words in English that I haven't learned that I didn't learn before I went there that I would use more now. And also like I'm like I don't care that much about stuff. Because before I went there, I cared like way more about like how I went with like my clothes and stuff, and I feel like I had to be like this boring person. But now I feel like I can be more myself, which I like.
Yeah. A lot of sweatpants, sweatshirts.
Wearing sweatpants, just
Yeah.
being relaxed. Because
It's-
in Norway, everybody wears the same thing. You have like this ideal person which everybody tries to be, and it's so boring. In America, everybody like are who they are, and nobody like this like nobody. Uh, I don't know how to explain it, but like people here look down at you if you like. If I was wearing sweatpants every day, people here would look down at me. But in America, nobody would care.
They wouldn't even notice.
I know, so that's why I like it better
That's
there, and
that's
things
my
like
day to
that.
day.
Huh?
That's my day to day outfit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's why.
I'm in sweatpants right now.
Yeah, yeah, small things like that is why it's what they react on. But I don't know that much about my English though. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, have you said gooder or goodest?
English class. I've said that sometimes in English class because I have an English class here. But I've like immediately after I just like tell the teacher that I had a joke with my parents over there, so she understands it and
That's
she
funny.
just thinks it's funny though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, some people really can understand
Mhm.
like it's not proper English. I'm like, well, yeah, it makes sense to me,
But
but
also people here like expect you to get better at English though. So that's also why they
and you got worse.
and I got worse. So
No,
kind
but
of opposite effect there.
all right. Well, Patrick, I think that's enough for today. We will uh maybe next weekend we can do it again and we can talk about soccer.
Yeah. And we can talk I want to talk about a lot of things, so
We got a whole
stay
year.
tuned guys.
All right, buddy. I love you.
Love you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.